we shall begin. Sriman Venkatanatharyaha Kavitarkika Kesari Vedantacharya Varyo me Sannidhattam Sadakriti Ramanujadaya Patram Jnana Vairagya Bhushanam Srimad Venkatanatharyam Vande Vedantadeshikam. So we go to the first verse of Prabhava Paddhati, third chapter. Vande Stadranganathasya Manyam Padukayor Yugam Unnatanam Avanatir Natanam Yatra Chonnatihi. In the earlier session, yesterday, we saw the 12th verse of the Prabhava Paddhati of the Padukasahasram. Tadvishno Paramam Padatrayugalam Trayanta Paryantakam Chintatita Vibhutikam Vitaratu Sheyamsi Bhuyamsi Naha Yadvikranti Dasha Samuchita Pada Prasyanti Pathaswini Saksheneva Sadanatasya Tanute Molo Sthitam Shulinaha. So we go to 1-3. Ambuni Ambu Nidhehe Ananya Gatibihi Meenaihi Kiyadgamyate Kleshena api Kiyat Vyalanghi Rabhasa Uttungaihi Plavanga Ishwaraihi Vijnata Kiyati Punaha Kshitibhrata Manthena Gambhirata Kimtaih Keshava Paduka Guna Maha Ambodhehe Tatastha Vayam Tatasthaha Vayam. So hope you are all hearing me without any technical snack. Now, so how to understand the greatness of the divine sandals of Sri Ranganatha of Sri Rangam? Vedantadeshika again stresses the point that we have very little knowledge and the greatness of the divine sandals is very vast, and therefore it is impossible to explain in words, which we already saw as an idea in the previous verses in this Prabhava Paddhati. So we had a beautiful verse as the second one in the Paddhati. Nishesham ambaratalam yadi patrika syat saptarnavi yadi sametya mashi bhavitri vakta sagasravadanaha purushaswayam chet likheta rangapati padukayo prabhavaha. So if the entire sky is made into a paper, all the 7 oceans made into ink, and if even the Lord with thousands of faces start saying the greatness of the divine sandals, it is impossible to complete the description. Now, the question is here. There are 3 questions in the first 3 quarters of this verse. Now, when we look at the ocean has got a lot of water creatures, especially the fish. The fish, they swim in the waters of the ocean. They have no other way except to live in the water. They cannot live in land. Therefore, they have only survival place is water. Ananya gatibihi meenaihi. The fish has no other resort to go except water. Ambu nidhehe, in the ocean. So we have the ocean with a lot of course, creatures, but fish is the important one. And they swim all over the ocean. They swim near the shore. of the ocean. They swim everywhere also. But can we understand that the fish can measure the length and breadth of the ocean? Though it is called achetana, insentient living being, suppose we take it as a sentient being with a mind to think, can we understand that the fish can measure the vastness of the ocean? It is not possible. So Ambuni in the water, Ambunudehe of the ocean, so there are fishes which have no other way to go. Kiyat gamyate. How far can they go? They can swim up to a particular distance only. They can swim in a particular area. In the same way, the second example analogy is kleshena api, with a lot of trouble. So the monkeys, rather the monkey leaders like Sugriva, Angada, Vali's son, Hanuman, and so on, so many leaders of monkeys, capable of doing many things, so capable of doing a lot of adventures. They are in a restless position. They are very curious. They are in tension. Rabhasa uttungaihi. Then when they crossed over the bridge built by them in order to reach Sri Lanka, how much they could understand, or how much they could understand while crossing the 100 yojanas to the other seashore. Kiyad Vyalanghi, do they know the depth of the ocean? Do they know the vastness of the ocean? No. Even when they try hard to understand the depth of the ocean, they cannot understand. Therefore, the third example, while the Milky Ocean was churned in order to get so many objects out of it, and Mahalakshmi was the best outcome. She was born from the Milky Ocean. And when many instruments have been used, for example, Vasuki, the big snake, was used as a churning rope, and the mountain called Manthara, Mantha mountain, which was used as a churning rod or stick. And then, so the Milky Ocean was churned, 14 white objects came out. One of them is Mahalakshmi, the goddess of fortune. The moon came out, the white cow came out, the white elephant Airavata came out, the white horse Uchchaishravaha came out. Then you have Kaustubam, the gem adorning the chest of Sriman Narayana came out. The celestial limbs came out. Dhanvantari, the doctor form, the physician's form came out. And initially the poison came out. The poison was drunk by Lord Shiva, and Parvati, being afraid that the poison will give him trouble, she stopped it before going inside, and then held his throat. So you get the name of Lord Shiva as Nilakantha, blue-necked person or black-necked person. And then lastly, the nectar came, the liquid ambrosia came out. So the liquid ambrosia was distributed to the gods, and the gods became immortals. So that story that you know. So can the mountain understand the depth of the ocean? Gambhirata, Gambhirata is depth here, the majesty of the ocean. Ocean has no parallel. Kshitibrata manthena, by the mountain Mantha, Gambhirata kiyati vijnata. How much depth was understood by the mountain called Mantha. Punaha, but, Punaha means but. Punaha means again, as of all of you may know. So, Kim Taihi Keshava Paduka Guna Maham Bodhes Tatasthavai. Just as the fish cannot understand the greatness of the ocean, the monkey leaders could not understand the greatness of the ocean. Rather, the distance travel, they may not understand. And also, the mountain, which was used as a churning stick, could not understand the depth of the ocean or the greatness of the ocean. So we also cannot understand fully the greatness of the divine sandals of Ranganatha. Keshava Paduka. We use the word name, first name, Keshavaya Namaha, in our recitation of 12 names. Keshavaya Namaha. That is the first name that we say for adorning our forehead with our marks. Keshavaya Namaha. So Keshava has got a lot of meanings. I can give you at least 4. So number 1, the Kesha, the locks of hair. Lord Krishna was very handsome with the beautiful locks of hair, and therefore he is called Keshava. So he had to kill a demon in the form of a horse who was called Keshi. So he actually protected. So Keshinam Avati. So it is Keshava. So whoever, maybe he is a demon who came to fight even with Krishna, had the fortune of getting the moksha, liberation from the cycle of birth and death, so from the hands of Lord Krishna. So the next meaning will be Kaha, meaning Brahma. Kaha in Sanskrit meaning Brahma. Generally, Kaha, as you know, means who. We ask a question. Kaha Bhavan. Ko Bhavan. So Kaha is who? So Kaha is Lord Brahma, the creator. Ishaha is Lord Shiva. Kaha plus Ishaha. So Keshav. And then Keshav Avati iti Keshava. So these two are protected by Lord. Lord Thirunarayanan takes care of Lord Shiva and Brahma. And therefore, along with, of course, the universe. So Keshava is Lord Ranganatha here. So his Paduka, divine sandals. Guna, the characteristics, the auspicious characteristics. Ananta Mangala Kalyana Gunaha. All qualities are auspicious and all of them are numerous. So Guna Mahambodhehe. So Ambodhehe. We saw the word Ambunidhehe in the first quarter. Now you say Ambodhehe. Ambas is water, Ambu is water. AMBU is water, AMBHAS is also water. So Ambodhehe in the ocean, Mahambodhehe, the great ocean of the auspicious characteristics of the divine sandals of Ranganatha. So where are we? We are only on the seashore. Tatastha Vayam. We are standing at the beach without knowing to delve deep or jump deep into the ocean to find out the qualities. And we cannot understand the number of the qualities. They are unlimited in number. Infinity is the limit of the qualities, and we are not able to understand each quality very well, deeply. So let us not worry about whether fish or the monkey leader or the mountain used as a churning stick could understand. Even we, as sentient beings, Chetanas, we are not able to understand. And therefore, we are standing at the seashore ready to go into the qualities of the divine sandals, but we are still at the shore. We are not able to understand completely. So this is only what you call analogy to understand, to make us know that we are not able to assess the qualities of the divine sandals. So we go to the next one. Pada Kamala Rajobhihi Vasite Ranga Bhartuhu Parichita Nigama Ante Paduke Dharayantaha Avidita Paripakam Chandramuttam Sayante Parinata Bhuvanam Tat Padmam Adhyasate Va. So you find that when we go to the temple of Ranganatha, we worship the divine sandals, and the divine sandals are kept on our head as in the form of shatari by the priest in the temple. So we are dharayantaha, we hold the shatari on our head. Paduke dharayantaha. So how is the paduka? How is the divine sandal? How is the pair of divine sandals? Parichita nigamante. Had we studied scriptures, or if you have any knowledge of scriptures, we can understand that the Upanishads adore them, appreciate them. We are sometimes familiar with these Sanskrit scriptural sentences. Parichita nigamante. So nigamante is Vedante, namely Upanishads. So the Upanishads adore the divine sandals. So we understand the greatness of the divine sandals through the scriptures. And how are they? The very words of the scriptures are sweet smelling. Why? The divine sandals are also attached to the divine feet of the Lord Ranganatha here. Pada Kamala Rajobhihi Vasite. So Pada, the divine feet of Ranganatha, they are like lotus. The lotus has got what we call makaranda, the pollen dust. So Rajobhihi, the Vasite. Now the divine sandals are made sweet smelling by the makaranda, the pollen dust of the lotus-like feet of Ranganatha. Now we also understand the beauty here is our heads are also made sweet smelling because Shatari is put on our head by the priest in the temple. And by that what happens is we also shed our bad qualities like Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Mada, and Matsarya. These 6 bad qualities, we also shed them, we leave them. Because these all these 6 qualities are bad qualities, and they are called the dust, the dirty things. So the uncouth desire, so the desire which we do not deserve to have, the fury, the extreme anger, so kama, krodha, lobha, the greed, so we are avaricious, and then so moha, confusion, then mada, we are haughty, we are proud, we are insolent, and matsarya, we are jealous. So all these 6 bad qualities, we give up. We give up all these 6 qualities, bad qualities, because the dust which is settling on us, our head, because of the Shatari. The Shatari is a representative of the Paduka. It is the very Paduka, the divine sandals. You will find the Paduka, the sandals figure in the Shatari. And again, in turn, these divine sandals are with the pollen dust, which make them sweet smelling, because of the lotus-like divine feet of Sri Ranganatha. Now you find that earlier that Lord Shiva guided us. He showed us as example, himself as an example, that so he wears Ganges on the head. Ganges river, the holy water is on his head, plus the moon, Chandram. So we are talking indirectly about Lord Shiva. So avidita paripakam. Normally you see the moon waxing and waning. You see Krishna Paksha, that is the dark fortnight, and Shukla Paksha, the bright fortnight, the white fortnight. So for the 15 days, it grows, and for the 15 days, it diminishes. So we don't have such a, what you call, ups and downs in our life. Once we keep the shatari, rather the divine sandals, on our head, when we go to the temple, the priest places the shatari on our head. And therefore, when we have the moon on our head, that is the white, the light, rather the knowledge represented by the moonlight. So, avidita paripaka, without waxing or waning, without any change, without going for increase or decrease. So, you find that Lord Ranganatha manages the whole world after creation. He allocated the department of creation to Lord Brahma, the four-faced Lord, and the portfolio of destruction to Lord Shiva. And as Ranganatha in the temple of Sriranga, so he transforms the world. Parinata Bhuvanam. Now, whether it is the moon or the lotus, rather, when we hold on our head the shatari as a representative of the divine sandals, which in turn becomes sweet smelling by the lotus-like divine feet of Sri Ranganatha. So that means when we say that our head is sweet smelling, our head also almost looks like a lotus. So tat padmam adhyasateva. We feel as though we are the creators and we are the destroyer, namely Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva holds the moon on the head. Lord Brahma is on the lotus, actually was born on the lotus. Therefore, whether it is moon or the lotus, the divine sandals, when placed on our head, elevate us to the position of the gods like Brahma and Shiva. So we go to the next one. So since one of the attendees wanted me to recite the verses, so we go back to 13. Ambunyam bunidherananya geet, gatibihi gatibhirminaih kiyad gamyate. Let me repeat. Ambunyam bunidherananya gatibhirminaih kiyad gamyate. Kleshenapi kiyadyalanghiravaso tungaih plavangeshwaraihi. Vijñata kiyati punaha kshitibhrita mantena gambhirata. Kim taih keshava paduka gunamaham bodhes tatathavayam. So we recite the 14. Padakamala rajobhir vasite rangabhartuh parichita nigamante paduke dharayantaha avidita paripakam chandramuttam sayante parinata bhuvanam tat padmam adhyasateva. Whether we hold the divine sandals on our head, it looks like as though we are holding the moon or the or we are sitting on the lotus. And we think that we have become so powerful as the great gods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. So, Sakritapi kilamurdhna sharngina paduke tvam manujam anuvahantam degabandhavyapaye upacharati yathargham devavargastadiyah sahatu satu niyamita. So, Vidarga is missing because of conjunction. Satu niyamita bhrityo yoshamaste kritantaha. So what is the advantage of worshipping the divine samples? So we want immediate results. We are selfish. We want to have some aim to worship the divine sandals. So what do we do? So, He Paduke, O divine sandals. In the first quarter, you see the word Sharngena Paduke. The Lord has 5 weapons. You would have come across this stotram. All of you might know this stotram called Panchayuda Stotram. Sphurat Sagasrara Shikhati Tivram Sudarshanam Bhaskara Koti Tulyam Suradvisham Pranavinashi Vishnos Chakram Sadaham Sharanam Prapadye. This first verse, beginning with this first verse, the Panchayuda Stotram, the devotional song on the 5 weapons are sung after the Vishnu Sahasranamam every day. That you all might know. So, Sharngena Paduke, we are talking about the bow here. Sharngam is the name of the bow. So, we have names of these weapons. The first weapon, namely, you call it weapon, but they are all ornaments to the God, Thirunarayanan. And again, we say that these weapons do not beautify him, but instead, Lord Almighty beautifies them, decorates them by taking them up in his divine frame, the Divya Mangala Vigraha. He makes them more beautiful. The first one is called Chakram, as you know, the discus or the wheel. And there is a special appearance of Sri Ranganatha in Srirangam. There are very rare temples where we have what you call Prayoga Chakram, otherwise called Agneya Chakram, meaning that Lord is ready to protect us by not keeping the Chakram in this fashion, but in a tilted fashion. So when you have the darshan of Sri Ranganatha with Nirmalyam, with all garlands removed, flower garlands removed, either in the morning or in some occasions, when he is to be anointed by holy waters, Thirumanjanam we say, Thirumajjanam, we say, Abhishekaha we say. So you can just have the darshan of the Chakram, the Sudarshanam by name, in this tilted position. Therefore, we call it as Prayoga Chakram or Agneya Chakram. So, Lord does not brook delay in protecting the devotees, and therefore he keeps the weapon ready. The weapons are not for attacking the devotees, but for attacking the enemies of the devotees. Our enemies are already said in the previous verse, namely 6 enemies. Then Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsarya. So these are the 6 enemies within our own body. They fight with us. We want to control them. And it is highly not possible. But still, so the Chakram, Sudarshanam, is ready. In the left hand, you have Shankham, the conch. It's called the Panchajanyam, the second one. The next one is Gada, is a maze. It's called Kaumodaki. the name of the girl, maize is called kaumodaki. It is as soft as a flower for the devotees, but it is like a thunderbolt for the enemies of the devotees. He has no enemies. The Lord has no enemies nor friends. Of course, in Krishna Avatara, he kept the great friendship with Arjuna. Arjuna was a Sakha. Whereas he has no particular friends nor enemies. There are no enemies. So, na dveshyaha, na cha priyaha. It is understood from the Bhagavad Gita. And therefore, so he has the maize named Kaumodaki. Kumudam is a lily flower. So you have another one, the bow, Sharngam. Sharngam. Sharngam is the name of the bow. So Sharngapani, we say. So there's a place called Tirukudandai, a Divya Kshetram, where you have a temple of Sharngapani. And we have another temple also in the same town, Kumbakonam, is called Chakrapani. So Chakrapanihi, Sharngapanihi. Sharngam is the name of the bow. And you have the another weapon called Khadgaha, the sword, which is called Nandaka. Nandaka. So for all these 5 weapons, we have stotram, and we are to recite it in the morning. Generally, all of us may recite it after Vishnu Sahasranamam, generally in the evenings. But it is said that Yonudinam Prabhate. Somebody advised me, why don't you change it to Yonudinam Pradoshe? So there is Pradosha in both mornings and evenings, namely twilight time. So you can say it on the evening also. So when we say this, we have 7 verses. For each weapon there is 1 verse. And we have Palashruti in 2 verses, last 2 verses. Mane, Rane, Jale, Agni Madhye, Yadrichaya, Apatsu, Mahabhayeshu, Idam Patam Stotram, Idam Patan Stotram, Anakulatma, Sukhi Bhavet Tatkrita Sarvarakshaha. So we get all protection, all kind of security. When we recite these 5 verses every day in the morning or at least in the evening. So what types of situations? Vane, in the forest. Rane, in a war. That means in an emergency situation, when we are in trouble. Vane, when we are left alone in the forest. That means we don't have help from any quarters. So Vane, Rane, Shatru, enemies are there. Just now we saw the enemies. Shatru, Jala, there is a flood. We are caught in a flood. Agni, there is a fire, blazing fire. Inferno. We are about to escape. So, Jala, Agni Madhye. Then the list is not complete. Yadrichaya, accidentally, suppose we face some problems. So, Yadrichaya, Apatsu, some dangers are awaiting. Mahabhayeshu, even when they are not at a great risk, we have got a lot of fear. We are worried about our future, We are worried about our future. Mahabhayeshu. All of us are, whether young or old, we are afraid of our future. So Mahabhayeshu, it's a great fear in our mind. So all this will go. Vane, Rane, Shatru, Jalagni Madhye, Yadrichaya, Apatsu, Mahabhayeshu. What do we do? Idam Patan Stotram. This devotional poem must be read. So when we read it, what happens? What will be our attitude? Anakulatma. Let us believe fully. Let us have full faith in this stotram. And then we will have all protection. Sarvarakshaha. So you have imam hare pancha mahayudhanam stavam patet yonudinam prabhate. So what will happen if you read this poem? Samasta dukkhani, all sufferings, bhayani, the fears, sadhyaha, immediately will disappear. Samasta dukkhani, bhayani, sadhyaha. Papani nashyanti sukhani santi. All our sins will be absolved, will be deleted. And all of us will have happiness only. So sukhani santi. So with this belief in our mind, we we adore the weapons. So Shargena Paduke, now Vedantadeshika calls the divine sandals, addresses them as I remind you every time that he talks to the divine sandals. So Shargena Paduke. So Sharngam is the bow. The bow, one who has a bow in his hand. Sharingi is here. Sharngapanihi is Lord Ranganatha. So, oh, the divine sandals of Lord Ranganatha. So, what do we do now? Tvam Sakritapi Kila Mudhna. As in the incarnation of Rama, he said a Charma Shloka. He said a shloka called Charma Shloka in the 18th canto of the Yuddha Kanda. All of you might know. Sakradeva Prapannaya Tavasmi Ticha Yachate Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo Dadamyetat Vratam Mama. This is my vow that I will protect you from all living beings. Abhayam, so I will give you extend protection from all living beings. Sarvabhutebhyo, or I will protect all living beings from any danger. How? So when we just say once I surrender. Sakriteva prapannaya. The surrenderer must say just once say. So Tava asmi. That's all. Need not say Tava dasaha asmi. I am a slave to you. I am a servant to you. I want to do service to you. I want to be a Kainkarya Bhara. I want to serve the divine sandals. I want to serve the divine feet. I want to be a priest in the temple. No, you need not say that. Tava asmi. I belong to you. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva. Revere him. Respect him as a mother and a father. As we respect our parents, we must respect our parents. As we respect our parents, parents are the immediate gods available at home in flesh and blood. Every day we must bow to them, get the blessings from them. And we must also, if they are ancestors, if they have gone, if they have passed away, then we must remember them often, frequently, sometimes every second, that we need their blessings. So we say, Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva. You are our relative, you are my friend. And Ramanujacharya in his prose work, Sharanagati Gadyam, he said, Gurus tvameva, you are my preceptor, you are my teacher. Tvameva vidya, you are my wisdom. Dravinam tvameva, you are my wealth. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. You just say it once. Tava asmi. I belong to you. I belong to you as a child. I am your son or daughter. So in that way, so Sakritapi, just once, Kila indeed. So Murdhana, so by our head, you just have a bow of our head and receive the sandals just in the form of shatari from the hands of the priest. Swam manujam anuvahantam deha bandhavyapaye. So when you are held on the head by a human being, manujam, so anuvahantam, when he carries that just once, deha bandhavyapaye. We are all afraid of our end of life also. What we call smashana vairagyam we have. We have so many vairagyams. Prasava vairagyam, smashana vairagyam. When in the Mahabharata you find an episode that a yaksha a divine being, started questioning the Yudhishthira. There was a risk. So when there was a ban on drinking water, though these Pandavas were thirsty, there was an extra to prevent them from drinking the water of the tank. And they all drank except Yudhishthira. And they died immediately. And Yudhishthira became very sad. Yaksha asked Yudhishthira the questions. 144 questions he asked. Yaksha asked Yudhishthira 144 questions. In Mahabharata you find it. It's called Yaksha Prashna. The chapter is called Yaksha Prashna. So one of the questions was like this. What is very, very much wonderful in the world? What is a great miracle in the world? Yudhishthira said, every day we see people passing away, but still we think that we are permanent here. So that is the feeling that we may have. But sometimes we have the fear of death. So deha bandha vyapaye. We are afraid that we will be born again. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jatare shayanam. What should he do? Iha samsare, bagudustare, kripaya pare, pahi. Hey Murari, O Lord Vishnu, please protect me. Pahi. Kripaya, please protect me. So he said just once. So when we get the fear of the end of life, we at least once have the shatari on our head placed by the priest of the temple. So what does it do? So what is the advantage of having on our head the shatari, the paduka, placed by the priest? Yatharham upacharati deva vargastvadiyaha. So when we become lucky because of getting the shatari placed on our head, the whole gamut of gods, all gods respect you and they welcome you. Yatharham, according to your qualifications, according to your merits. Deva Vargaha, the divine personalities, the whole group, they become yours. They become friends for you. Upacharati, they give us the welcome. They give us the favor. They give us the hospitality. They heartily welcome us. And when the whole group of gods welcome us, who stands apart? Kritantaha joshamaste. The god of death, Yama, is called the nemesis, fate. So he keeps mum. Joshamaste. He is silent. He is not able to touch us. He is not able to conquer us. He is not ready to take us to his hell. So Narakapati, Kritantaha, one who can make us end our life. So god of death. So god of death remains silent. Joshamaste. So what happens to him? Niyamita bhrityaha. Not only he comes to us, but also he prevents his followers, his attendants, his servants, his slaves. That is what we call kinkaraha. Whenever we say the word kinkaraha, we are not talking about any servant. Any servant, even nearby at home, can be called kinkaraha when he says, when the servant is ready to serve, kim karomi. When he says kim karomi, you give your servant a task. The task is finished earlier than you expect. And then he is ready to take up another task. That person is called kim karaha, kim karomi. What shall I do for you? How shall I serve you? But we understand as the word kinkaraha is heard of by us, meaning we always think that it is Yama kinkaraha. Yama comes on buffalo. We all have imagined. He has a rope in hand, pashaha. Kayiru we say in Tamil. So rope. So we have some imagination, some figurative representation. But what happened here? The god of death controls his servants. Niyamita bhrityaha. Who is that man? Sahatu. We don't know. We are not known. We don't know the Aadhaar card of the god of death. When he will come, when he will go, when he will catch the souls, and so on. So Satu Niyamita Bhrityaha Joshamaste Kritantaha. So let me recite the 15th verse. So the advantage of worshipping the divine sandals and by getting the Shatari blessed by the priest of the temple, even once, so once we visit Srirangam, once we get the Shatari on our head from the hands of the priest, Sakritapi Kilamurdhana Shangina Paduke Twam. The advantage is that all gods welcome us. They are favorable to us. And the god of death is away from us, far away from us. And he is not ready to disturb us at any time. And he commands his servants not to disturb us. When we have the death fear. So Sakradapi Kila Murdhana Shargina Paduke Tvam Manuja Manuahantam Deha Bandhavyapaye Upacharati Yatharham Deva Vargastadiyaha Satuniyamita Bhrityo Joshamaste Kritantaha. So let me recite the last verse of the Padukasahasram and give you time for 10 minutes to discuss. And I think there are 17 messages from chat. So, Jayati Yatiraja Suktihi, Jayati Mukundasya Paduka Yugali, Tadvayadhanas Trivedim, Avandhayanto Jayanti Bhuvisantaha, Kavita Kika Simhaya, Kalyana Gunashaline, Srimate Venkateshaya, Vedanta Gurave Namaha. I shall tell you the next session, the inner meaning of these verses in the Prabhava Paddhati from the 8th verse to the 15th verse. So the Thiruvaradhanam procedure is given as an inner meaning in these verses. So over to the participants and okay. Okay. I will send you by mail the Sanskrit vrittis, what we call Vigraha Vakyas of the 4 meanings of Keshava to Radhika Vallabhadas. And Panchayita Stotram, yes, Shilatas. So we are very, okay. Shodashayita Stotram is also there. Shilata has indicated. Vedantadeshika has given a list of 16 weapons in the hands of Lord Sriman Narayana. And Sri Sudarshana is the leader of the 16 weapons. It is not in the hands of, though we can say the 16 spokes of the wheel of Sudarshana. We don't say the 16 weapons are under the control of course, on the divine frame of Sudarshana, but the 16 weapons are led by Sudarshana. Sudarshana is the leader for which word in 44th shloka corresponds to the 6 enemies of Kama, Krodha. Now, the 6 enemies are referred to. I will tell you the word. 44. Rajobihi. I told you, no, the word Rajobihi. Rajas is the dust, the dirty thing. So the Rajaha tells you the 6 qualities. Generally, the Rajaha, if it is Kamala Rajaha, it is the pollen dust, the sweet smelling makaranda powder. And if it is Rajaha in what we call Rajo Guna, Jayanti Sridhar wants 13th shloka, second line. Yes. We will do it now. So, second line. Kleshena api. I split the words. Kleshena api, the second quarter. Kiyat Vyalangi. Vyalangi is what you call not the, sorry, Karmani Vacha. That's called passive voice, past tense verb. Passive voice, past tense verb is Vyalangi. Kiyat Vyalangi. Rabasot Tungai Plavangeshwaraihi. When we translate into English or Tamil or any other language, we have to do it in the active voice. Otherwise, it will be awkward in English. Therefore, we say the leaders of the monkeys, how much crossing has been done by the, you can say it in passive voice also, how much crossing has been done by the monkey leaders who are restless. Kiyat Vyalangi. Vi alangi. Vi is the preposition. Alangi is the word. Alangi is the verb. Passive voice, past tense verb. Kiyad Vyalangi. Rabasa Uttungaihi. Plavanga Ishwaraihi. So, Kleshenapi Kiyad Vyalangi. Rabasottungaish Plavangeshwaraihi. That is the second one. Anything else that you want? I shall see there some more chat. Plavanga Ishwara means Radhika Vallabha madam. Plavanga is monkey. Plavate iti Plavangaha. In Sanskrit, there are many words in the same the spelling, rather in the different, only one letter is different. So Plavagaha, one which jumps and goes, one which hops. So one who does hopping. So Plavena Gachati. Plavena Gachati. Plavagaha. Then you have Plavangaha. Then you have Plavangamaha. So these 3 words mean monkey. So hops and jumps. So Ishvaraha, Lord, the leader. So Pravanga Ishvaraha. Then Tritiya Vibhakti, Plavanga Ishvaraihi. Plavanganam Ishvaraha, the leader of the monkeys. So Bhagavachanam, Plavanga Ishvaraihi. Ramaha Ramo Ramaha, we say, you know the Shabda. So Ramena Ramabhyam, Ramaihi. That way Plavangeshwaraihi. So that is about the question by what is the name of the chapter? Just search in the net Yaksha Prashna, you will get the name of the chapter. Yaksha Prashna, Yaksha Prashna. Yaksha Prashna. So Mohan Parsali, you are welcome. So 45th shloka. Can Radhika Vallabha ask me to explain the meaning again? 45th, okay. So the human being who is a devotee of Lord Ranganatha comes to the temple with the fear of this life. Deha bandha vyapayi. So he is all afraid of this human life. When will it, how long will it go? What will be the span of life? When will it end? So when he carries on the head the divine sandals in the form of Shatari, blessed by the priest of the temple of Sri Ranganatha, by head Murdhana, at least once. So what will happen? So that human being is being honored or given hospitality by the gods, by all the gods, according to the qualifications. So all gods are favorable to us, and God of death is also favorable to us because he is not approaching us. We have no fear of death. So we are safe. The God of death keeps mum, keeps quiet, controlling his servants not to approach such person who has adorned his head with the sandals, divine sandals, in the form of Shatari, by the priest, placed by the priest of the temple of Sri Ranganatha, at least once. So, okay, may I request you help understand the relevance of Charnginaha in Shloka 45. Now, the adjective, now Lakshman Ram Swamin, may I request you to help me understand the relevance of Sarnginaha in Shloka 45. Sarnginaha is an adjective to Lord Ranganatha. We have in the 1008 verses of Sri Padukasahasram, Vedantadeshika, being highly high expert in vocabulary, uses all kinds of adjectives possible to adore Sri Ranganatha. Instead of seeing Ranganatha again and again, or some word repeated, you will find some repetitions also, but he follows the principle of Magha, a great poet in Sanskrit. He says, Navashabda gate maghe navasargo navidyate. Navashabdo navidyate. While you come across, while you read the 9 chapters of Shishupala Vadham, a great what you call epic by Magha, a poet called Magha, Magha. We say about him, we adore him like this, Maghe Meghe Gatam Vayaha. If we read the Meghadutam of Kalidasa and Shishupala Vadham of Magha, our 100 years of life will be over, will be spent only by reading these 2 books. That means we have a lot to understand. So Magha's work is Shishupala Vadham. In Shishupala Vadham, when we go to the 9th canto, there is no new word is available in the dictionary. Therefore, you can say Vedantadeshika is a walking encyclopedia. It's a mobile encyclopedia in those times. And therefore, he wanted to use different adjectives to make us understand the greatness of the Lord. And the greatness of the Lord is understood by all these beautiful adjectives. Why echo or double voices at the same time? You mean Vedantadeshika's Vijaya Hetirajan's question? You mean the author echoes or gives repetition at the same time? No. The repetition is necessary in order to make us remember. The repetition is to be taken as a good quality of a poem so that we remember stress the point. Otherwise, we forget as soon as we read a poem and then go back. Then we forget easily when it is stressed every time, in every page sometimes, in every verse sometimes. We will remember them. So it is very important to give the importance of the repetition. That's why sometimes echoing the idea of the preceptors, though we have understood something from the preceptors of Vedantadeshika like Nathamuni, Yamunacharya, Kuresha, and Ramanujacharya, and so on, we tend to forget. It is human tendency to forget everything easily, unless we take interest in understanding. Okay. So G. Rajalakshmi is asking, Kshitibhrita in 43rd sloka. Kshiti is Bhumi. Kshiti is Bhumi. Kshitibhrit is mountain. Because the roots of the mountain, ROOTS, the roots of the mountain extend so deep into the earth that they hold the earth intact. Therefore, any mountain in Sanskrit is called Kshitibhrit. Kshiti is Bhumi. You also have Bhubhrit. And so also a king must always bear the earth, bear the burden of the earth. A king is also called Kshitibhrit. What do you call a ruler? The prime minister of a country or the president of a nation will be responsible for the protection of the nation. Therefore, he is called Kshitibhrit, or it's a what you call Pullinga Shabda, masculine gender word, which means mountain here. Mountain. Rabhasotungaihi. Okay, very good. So Meenakshi is asking Rabhasotungaihi. Rabhasa is agitation. Rabhasa is restlessness. Uttungaihi, they have in their mind foremost. What is in their mind now foremost? Now, the monkeys had a lot of monkey itself, the monkey's attitude itself is what we call wavering mind. Manaha kapihi asmakam manaha. Our mind is like a monkey. We say mind is a monkey. So our mind jumps from one idea to another idea, just like monkey jumps from one branch of the tree to another branch of the tree. Therefore, our mind is called monkey. And here, the monkey leaders are restless. Number one, they wanted to go with Rama. They wanted to help Rama. Actually, by philosophical meaning is all the gods gave birth to monkeys. Indra's son was Vali. The sun's son, S-U-N, sun's son was Sugriva. And Hanuman is considered even an incarnation of Lord Shiva, because of course he is Vayu's son, the wind god's son, and so on. So all these monkeys are only gods who came during the incarnation of Rama to help. And they have got apprehension, they have got fears. Why? Most important fear is Vibhishana was accepted. They were afraid of Vibhishana also. Vibhishana was a demon, but was a good demon. They did not understand well the attitude of Vibhishana. So Vibhishana, and there were also spies sent by Ravana to disturb the peace in the army of monkeys. The monkeys were always restless. And they went along with Rama. They built the bridge, of course, with two special skilled monkeys, Neela and Nala and so on. But what happened was they were always restless. No monkey keeps what you call steady in a place. And all the monkeys had the fear of winning over Ravana's army in Sri Lanka. They were killed also. They were killed also in the war. In the war of Ravana and Rama, they were also killed. So they were afraid. They were restless. They were always in tension. Right. Oh, right. Bhubhrita and Kshitibhrita. Right. Bhu has only one letter, Kshitibhrita has two letters. So according to the exigency of the meter, Swami Vedantadeshika uses, according to the rhyming pattern, what we call vritta, chandas, according to the prosodic rules, he uses the words beautifully. So again, while you see the word mantha, Shitibrita, mantena, the mountain, Mantha mountain, which was used as a churning stick, got immersed into the ocean. It almost sunk. And therefore, what happened was Lord Srimanarayana had to take the Kurma avatara, the turtle, the tortoise incarnation. He had to lift up the mountain so that the mountain is useful till the final goal, namely Amrita is got. So our Mantha mountain was sinking into the ocean. But even if it sinks, Vedantadeshika's question is, how can it touch the earth, the floor of the ocean? Can it understand the depth of the ocean? By going deep, sinking into the deep depth of the ocean, can it understand, can the mountain understand the unfathomable ocean? That's what. Very good. So thank you very much for. Already it is 6:08. Okay. Club of the Supreme Personality, and therefore Lord Brahma and even time factor are not complete. Chastity. The shloka from Bhagavatam has similar meaning as 242. Very good. Very nice observation by Radhika Vallabha. To Devasiddha Parigeta Pavitra Gatha Bhagavat Prapanna Stan Nopasedeta Harer Gadya Bhikuttan Nainavayan Vayu Prabhavinan. My dear servants, okay, my dear servants, please do not approach such please go near them. They are always protected by the mountain. Right. Good. Parallel has been quoted. I find that two new messages. Namo Namo. Thanks to all your observations and your reactions, feedback. Let me have more feedback in the future. We will take up the next 16th verse tomorrow. Thank you very much.